Hey, it's Tuesday. Outlawed Live. My name is Ron Stone with my trusty companion over here, Mr. Mike Idle. Mike, how's it going?
Going really well, Ron. Huge week outlaw pulling this week. We've kicked down the door the past couple weeks, and the floodgates are open. What do we got? 8 events this week coming up. A lot of stuff going on.
All kinds of stuff, man. We've got, let's see, tomorrow night we've got the big modified tractor shootout in Freeport, Illinois.
Yep.
You've got the Hancock County Fair in Britt, Iowa. Then Thursday we've got, what have we got? Pierce, Nebraska.
And Sac City, Iowa.
Sac City, Iowa. You'll be in Sac City. I'll be at Pierce. Then Friday we'll get together at Wayne, Nebraska for the Wayne County Fair, big 2-track pull there. And then Saturday you go to LeMars, Iowa. I go to Platte City. A lot of stuff going on, a lot of stuff to review from the weekend. Wow. Man, you got to meet Larry the Cable Guy over the weekend.
What an awesome experience that was, truly, honestly. That's a man with a lot of small town pride. It was so unique. He's just like any other good old boy you've ever met, but also unlike anyone you've ever met in the same breath. I kind of get the impression that he doesn't always come back to the Pawnee County Fair, that this was kind of a special deal. And, he graced us by coming over there, said a couple of words. He said, get her done. He did the Mater impression. And I asked him about tractor pulls, and he said they're legendary. Those were his exact words. He goes, I hope they keep going for 200 years. Took a picture with him. It took me a second to kind of get back into tractor pull mindset and to kind of, rein in my excitement. And remember, I had a job to do because, how often do you meet Larry the Cable Guy? But yeah, he is from Pawnee City, Nebraska, right there. Small town with a great tractor pull, and just one cool dude to come out there and chit chat with us.
Yeah, I used to work with a lady that she was his babysitter when he was a little guy. She lived over there in that area in Nebraska. So Dick Blankespore watching tonight from Inwood, Iowa. Thanks, Dick, for checking in. Ben Beller out in Kansas says, good evening. Chris Pierce checking in tonight. Cole Lundahl checking in from Wakefield, Nebraska. Tina and Eric Berger checking in from Wilbur, Nebraska. All these super fans, man, they watch every week.
Yeah.
And I'm still meeting new people out there week in and week out that watch the show. And, it's like, thank you guys so much for watching. Send us a line here. Send us a message. Let us know you're out there. Love it seeing all those super fans out there.
Meeting you guys in person too. That's really cool. Met Mark Willis this weekend out of Carrollton, Missouri. He came up, actually worked with us, ran the camera, I think, at Warrensburg, ran the camera up at Leigh. So, we've met a couple of you guys in person from time to time. We're always down to meet some of the fans out there and to shake hands. Ron, you got rained out Friday night. We had rain coming on Saturday night. So I kind of made the executive decision, Kurt, the CEO, he was there on the grounds with me Saturday night. And he said, get these RVs to higher ground. We've got rain coming. Well, once you're locked and loaded, you might as well head for home at that point. So I headed for home, got home Sunday morning, couldn't sleep, was still too wound up, decided to turn on your show from Warrensburg, watch that show. That was a nice pull. Really, really good pace of pull. 3-hour show with some beautiful runs. I mean, Case and Petch's run was good. The Pro Stock class put on some good runs. You were on your A game, sounding awesome. So break down Warrensburg for us. I know Montgomery City didn't get to happen, but was Warrensburg as good in person as it looked on the replay?
It was a fun pull to call. I was glad to see those promoters. They've been hampered with so many issues over the years.
Yeah.
Mother Nature in particular, whether it was record heat or rain that wasn't even in the forecast, raining on the show, but it was a great show. The mod class, wow, Case and Petch, 39.4 miles an hour. The front tires never touched the ground. That's the fastest. I've seen that in outlaw pull since I've been announced for the Outlaws. That's the fastest pass that I've seen, an official pass. I did see Doug Theobald a couple years ago. I went back to Ohio to visit my dad. I went to the Brown County Fair up close to Cincinnati. And Doug Theobald was in a class with his mod with some other tractors that weren't as wild as his. So they set it kind of in the middle, and he went like 41 or something, but that was kind of a special deal. He was running 3 Hemis against, 1 and 2 Chevys in that class. But But yeah, 39.4. What an awesome pass. The Pro Stock four-wheel drive class. I don't know if you heard some of the distances in there. If you check out the app, if you have the Outlaw Pulling app, go look at those distances from Warrensburg on Saturday night. I'll just throw a couple out here, Mike. Pro Stock 4x4. There for a while, the Tater Wagon was leading pocket change by 1/100th of a foot, which is 1/8 of an inch. You know, about the thickness of a grain of rice. Then one more spot back, 5/100ths of a foot. I think that was 7:30 seconds or something like that. But just crazy how close those are, and I love it when it gets that close.
I also
it was an awesome night of pulling. The semis put on a good show. A couple of those semis going to be coming back here pretty soon. The old Instigator is going to be coming back. It's about done. Brent is very close to getting the black on track back on the track.
Yeah.
He's expecting parts Friday. He's not sure, but he is expecting parts and hoping they'll be the last class at Wayne, so maybe he can make it over there. Don't know if you know what happened to him, but after Whitewright, brand new engine that he had built in Pennsylvania. He made a couple trips there, had it dynoed there. First weekend out down there at Whitewright, he went to load it up for the next pull, and then found out that the oil pump gear had broken off and the engine was toast. So the crank was toast. So that's what happened to him. That's why you don't see the black on track out. He's hoping to have it back out this weekend, hopefully so. And oddly enough, the one semi in the class that's brand new that is actually made from parts out of the
left of the blue collar truck.
The points, the blue collar truck is leading.
Yeah. I want to circle back to two things that you touched on because I've been thinking about this over the past couple of days. Kason Petch's run was one of the highlights of Warrensburg, the Pro Stock four-wheel drive truck. You know, it's still early in the year to start thinking about year-end awards and banquets, but we're getting the narrative close enough to where you're going to start paying attention to some of those. And if you had to give away a Puller of the Year award right now, how do you not give it to Kason Petch? You know, the twin turbine leading, 20 years old, young man, kind of a rookie. But in the same breath, how do you not give it to Keith Hammonds, who is literally perfect on the season, undefeated? Right. So there's some things, Warrensburg, with those developments. I mean, Kason's having a dream season. You got to start throwing his hat in the ring for that. But how can you not give it to a guy who might have our first perfect season since 2022, you know, and something that rare to never happens in pulling. So what are your thoughts on how that might shake down, Ron?
You know, we're almost to halftime. You know, if it was a game, it's a little early to be giving out game balls, but definitely Kason has the improvement, not just Kason, but the whole team, what they're doing with that tractor. You know, they struggled with it last year. They did. They struggled trying to get it dialed in. Remember, they had issues with it pulling to one side or the other. They couldn't figure out what the heck was going on. The brake issues. They are dialed in. Now, one team that, oddly enough, is struggling, that rarely struggles, has been struggling all season long in that class, and that's the Sweet Pain team.
Right.
They are struggling this year. And we haven't seen them struggle like this. I talked to Kurt. He said this is the worst start to an outlaw season they've ever had. So
you've got to wonder, keeping with the sports analogy that we're kind of running with tonight, you know, if it is halftime and looking ahead to future seasons of the second half, does that team consider making adjustments? Now, I think it's way too early to panic, but do we see them consider maybe, I don't think we'll ever see the day that thing's anything other than triple Chevys, but do we ever see them considering a configuration where they run, you know, two out front and one behind? Do they start letting that creep into their mind, or do they say, hey, this is a tried and true method, it's just an anomaly of a first half, and we believe it's going to come around in the second half? You know, do they start thinking about making some major adjustments to that legendary tractor, or do they just kind of weather the storm and know that it's going to be back?
Adjustments, yes. And I think that's what they're all about, is adjusting it to what, you know, to to whatever the situation is. And that's what they do best, I think, Mike, is adjust. But they're just struggling. And, that's the team that, they have a checklist and they go through it. And, they dot every I and cross every T, twice. And they're just having some trouble this year. And, I think they're going back to the drawing board saying, what have we done right? What have we done wrong? Let's fix it. Let's better what we're doing right. And, I think they're going back to the drawing board. I think we'll see a different team come out here in the second half of the season. I really do.
Yep. So it'll be fun to see how things shake down. No doubt about it.
Keith Hammonds, you're talking about him, undefeated so far in the season. Yep. Undefeated.
Seven victories, I believe he has.
Incredible. That guy, I tell you what, he's lucky when it comes to those draws. I tell you that.
I would. The only thing I would say to that, and I know you and I were kind of texting about this yesterday, is Saturday night in Rock Valley, and he came to me and told me he was really unconfident with his draw. He had the number 2 hook, and it's the single hardest position in pulling to win out of. You're one away from the test puller. You've had one to look at, no real data to make adjustments, but you don't have the advantage of the drop option. And he won in the number 2 spot. Yeah. So, that to me says he's had a lot of fortunate numbers, but he had the toughest one to win out of, and he still won on that one too. That's a person who's been in that class so long and has paid so much attention both to his motor building and his driving style that you would almost say if he was a different puller, is he going to jump up to another class? You would say, well, okay, is he going to go to the mod 4-wheel drive or the super mod 2-wheel drive or something? But he's mastered what's going on in the pro stock 4-wheel drives.
Do I think he'll go undefeated? No, I don't.
No, I don't either.
When I say he does get some pretty lucky draws, I mean, he does. I do. I've seen him come out early, like you said, at Rock Valley, have an early hook and still put it on everybody, where that class is known to build a road. The class will get better. I seen about halfway through that class, we had 23 hooks in that class Saturday in Warrensburg, Missouri. And you saw about halfway through the class, they figured it out. Everybody started diving right, about 250 feet or so, 300 feet. And that was the key. Keith had that late hook. If he would have been early, I'm not so sure that he would have been able to beat him that night. I mean, it really was kind of a tricky track for him, and that late hook. And I even said something to him in the interview afterwards that I was joking with him and said, I saw you down there praying for that sun to go down and the clouds to cover that sun up. And he said, no, you're not wrong. I was, but
and he will. He's so honest. He'll own it. Yeah. He'll own it. And he's even said, he's told me point blank, I'm not going to go undefeated. Someone is going to beat me. And he's even kind of been aware of the fact that that's good for pulling, as with any sports. The dynasties, we're Chiefs fans. We get it. Yep. We catch a lot of that hate and everything. It's not always the best for the sport, watching new blood and new victory. And Keith has been very open about that. And he said, really, I won't go undefeated, and that's not going to be a bad thing for this class. So, you ask him a straightforward, and he'll give you those honest answers.
It gets to a point where it's like, I'm not here to win. I'm here to beat that guy. You know what I mean? Just because he can't be beat. But I think, he's going to, I mean, it would be awesome for him to go undefeated. And, I think the rest of the field is still kind of scratching their heads. How do we beat this guy? It's tough. And he's, like you said, he's on his A game. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. So we've got a couple of promoters coming on tonight. I've got Kevin Davis lined up for Wayne, Nebraska. I also have the Pierce, Nebraska promoter lined up to come on tonight as well. So we'll get those guys on. How was your weekend up there? How was Leigh, Nebraska?
Leigh, Nebraska. Yeah, I tell you what, there's got to be a love-hate relationship with Leigh, Nebraska and Corey Schluter. The 2 years I've announced there, he has grenaded. he has had some serious damage in the rear end. Now, I kind of played it up that this was his redemption tour this year. He walked away with the win at Leigh, Nebraska, but the tracks did the exact same thing to him. That's an interesting piece right there phenomenal what they did, trucking all night long, getting back on the track, picking up another win in Warrensburg. A lot of resiliency to
With
that
very
team
little
right there. They have a never say die attitude. The crowd at Leigh, like always, that's a phenomenal fair. It's a free fair where they let you bring in your own refreshments. It was like 81 degrees at showtime. The weather was perfect. 2,000, 3,000 people there. It was a packed house. It was a great show. Pawnee City, we took a lot of feedback from the pullers who had actually been there the night before, pulling with a different association, and wanted to see the track. We as announcers used to like to use things like, oh, it's a tricky track, it's a challenging track. Well, you kind of know what that means. So we made sure that the track, Saturday night was in excellent condition, and it absolutely was. Got to see the Hogs come out and get a win. It's always fun when they play with us. Got to see their new light limited modified, which is very intriguing. Gonna be fun to see them get that dialed in. Inline case 6-cylinder with a 4.1 charger on top, converted to alcohol. In a lot of ways similar to Wes Seavers' setup, but in a lot of ways different. Doesn't have the DT466. It's got the case motor. It's running on alcohol instead of on diesel. It was fat on fuel. It was heavy on the nose, which is what every brand new build is going to be. But come on, it's the Temptation pulling team. They're going to have that thing dialed in.
Start leaning it out a little bit and taking some chances with weight. Yeah, that's pretty typical to keep them fat and safe, when you first come out with a new build there. So
we saw the pure pressure machine of Andrew Beckman walk away with a walk-off win, but the exact same thing that happened in Wisner 2 years ago happened again in Pawnee City. I was announcing from the starting line, so it's hard to tell which one it was. I think it was the front turbine, kind of your big exhaust pipe. I mean, he shucked it, the rear end locked up, and he shucked that motor forward off the tractor just like he did back in Wisner 2 years ago.
Oh, no. So the front motor locked up. Did the second motor took the same
I couldn't. I actually ran over. I was having some radio issues, and I couldn't get my distances. So I ran over to the production trailer and announced from the production trailer. So I was announcing from the starting line behind the big board, and all I saw was turbine on the track. Can't tell you which one it was. It was a walk-off win. He won in the final hook, and it was one of those he was not going to get out of that throttle, and something locked and found that weak point and dumped it out on the track. And not sure if it's just on that exhaust side or if the whole thing went out there. He was gone after the show, but it looked eerily similar to what we saw in Wisner 2 years ago.
Yeah, that there's some new rules coming down the pike even today about the exhaust stacks being restrained now. So we're gonna that's opened our eyes a little bit to that. So I haven't seen it yet, but I need to go back and watch that. So.
It was everything was fine. There was nothing to be worried about, but we certainly had some people who were in a position to be making good decisions saying, we're right there. Let's address this. But, kind of some bad luck for Andrew Beckman. Got the win, came at a cost, so we'll see what's going down with that class in the future.
Yeah, Gerald Hostetler. I just got off the phone right before the show with Greg Lucetto, who works on this tractor too. So they've been a valve and Leigh, got the heads off, get them to a machine shop. Not going to make any pulls this week, unfortunately.
Greg was guest driving for them. He was the hired gun in the seat in Leigh driving on that tractor.
Yeah, he said, I forget what he said, a $12 clamp or something is what caused their problems this week. So. Here's Andrew Beckman. He's watching.
Good. Bingo. So, like I said, I was a long ways from it, and I couldn't tell what it was. But yeah, says it's gonna be in Pierce this week. So obviously not as serious as what was in Wisner. Just kind of it appeared, with that exhaust out there on the track to be cut from the same cloth. So good deal. Excited to hear that, Andrew. Good
deal for him. I know Chad is waiting back there, but we want to get one of our promoters on here. Chad, hang loose back there. I think you need a little more makeup anyway, so stay back there and make up for a little bit. We'll bring Brett Sutor on here in just a minute from Pierce, Nebraska. I just want to play a commercial from our newest sponsor with the Outlaws, Big St. Charles Motorsports in St. Charles, Missouri.
Start the day. Load the bed. Hit the trails. The trails. Find the spot. Pop the camper. Crank the tunes. Cook the dinner. Pet the dog. Take the moment. Do the work. Have the fun. Get the Pioneer.
Awesome. Newest sponsor with the Outlaws. That's Big St. Charles Motorsports in St. Charles, Missouri. You want a deal on a motorcycle, a four-wheeler, an ATV, side-by-side, that is the place to go. Big St. Charles Motorsports.com. Now we are live with Brett Sutor from Pierce, Nebraska, the big county fair there in Pierce. You guys ready for us Thursday night, Brett?
Ready or not, it's happening. But yeah, we're ready.
So this is a huge week in pulling for us. We are all over the place this week.
Yeah, I've seen that on your schedule.
We're at 2 locations tomorrow night. We're in Iowa and Illinois. They're on Thursday. We're in Sac City, Iowa, and Pierce, Nebraska. Then Friday, Mike and I will get together and hang out and work the Wayne, Nebraska pool. And then Saturday night we split off again, and we're in Iowa and Missouri. So big week in pulling for us. How long have you been having a pull there in Pierce?
Oh, man, I couldn't even tell you. Ever since I was a little kid, we've been having pulls there. I know even my dad would say that he would go pulling there in the late 60s, early 70s. So it's been a long time.
Yeah, it's kind of a hidden little gem there as far as a tractor pull. I've announced there back when it was a Nebraska Bush hook. I did some announcing for Nebraska Bush then, and I actually got to drive a turbine tractor there, Mike. That was fun. But it's kind of a neat little pull there. You guys draw a pretty good crowd in there as well.
Yeah, we usually pull a big crowd. It's usually one of our bigger nights of the fair. And I don't know, we're always pretty proud of our track. We got, a yellow clay that's good horsepower track. And we actually hauled in some more right after the fair last year so that it could freeze and thaw through the winter. But we're really excited. We think we got a good track. The pullers seem to really like it.
Good deal. And we just heard from Andrew Beckman that his turbine, he will be out, even though we thought he did some very bad damage to it. It was reminiscent of a couple years ago in Wisner where the rear end locked up both turbines and destroyed everything. I think he had basically just a rolling chassis after that. So glad to hear that it wasn't
a scooting chassis. I don't even think the chassis rolled at that point.
Exactly.
Well, I know that class in particular, a lot of people come just to watch that class just because there's so much variety in that class.
Variety is incredible. Yeah. And that's why we love it as well as, we're not only announcers, we're fans too. And it'll
keep you on your toes just telling the fans what they're looking at every single time. Nothing from our other classes, but you take your light limited pro stocks or your 4-1s or something, and you're diving into points and standings. You can call just what's right on front of the track right there with that light limited modified, just letting the fans know all the different power plants. It's an exciting class. Tell us about some of the other classes you've got over there in Pierce. Looks like you got the super field, some 4-wheel drives. What's the local fan favorite up there?
Well, we have Casey Asmus he's technically from Hoskins, but he went to school in Pierce. So he's kind of the local puller in the Super 3200 Super Field, Super Farm. Like we're a bunch of people know, like Eric Groney, just being over there from Wayne. The light supers are always a fan favorite, so we always try to get them. And I'm trying to think what else we got. 4-1s and 4x4. Yeah.
Yep. You got the regional limited pros and then the mod 4-wheel drives. So little something for everybody. Some smoke, some noise, some alcohol, some trucks, some tractor. This is a well-rounded show.
So what time do things get started over there, Brett?
The poll will start at 7. Usually we try to have everything ready to go for the pullers to come in basically noon. We're getting everything set up tonight. For our pit areas and all that, and try to get everything dried out because it's been wet here. But get everything dried out. But yeah, they can come in at noon. Gates open at 5, I believe. Okay,
5 o'clock. Your your gate policy, do you have any kind of alcohol policy there for fans to?
We do have a beer garden. Yeah.
Okay. So you can't bring outside alcohol in?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So gates open at 5 for the fair there, the Pierce County Fair to Pierce, Nebraska. Folks, it's a great pull. It's a hidden little gem there in Pierce, Nebraska. If you've never been, you should go. It's a pretty cool atmosphere, great crowd, great folks there. So I'm looking forward to it. I'll be fresh this year, Brett. I'm not doing Britt on Wednesday night. Mike's going to go up and do Britt, so you're getting me fresh this year. So, so we'll be good.
You're always fresh. You're always happy and perky.
Well, man, thanks for coming on the show tonight. Hope for a big turnout there. Hope the weather holds out.
Yeah,
weather's been kind of crazy this year.
Yeah.
I've never seen the weather forecast change as quickly as it does this summer. It's been been different. Yeah. So thanks for coming on, man. We'll see you Thursday.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Good luck.
Brett Sutor from the Pierce County Fair to Pierce, Nebraska. They used to run a 3200 super field tractor. It still pulls. I can't remember what it's. Is it maybe the Rum Runner? I think it wasn't called the Rum Runner then, but that was the tractor that they campaigned.
Sure.
So let's go ahead and do Kevin Davis here.
Oh yeah,
on here. He could use some more time in makeup.
I was going to say, you're really, if you've got two gentlemen in the back room that you're waiting on, which one's going to be more presentable more quickly? You've got, and even if you let them arm wrestle each other, I'm not sure who would come out.
Only an hour show, Mike. It's only an hour show. I don't know if there's enough makeup back there to make this.
I think at this point we're just going to have to pick one and roll with it.
Yeah.
And the two just coolest dudes out there in eastern Nebraska, Trevor and Kevin, not Oliver. I will never forget that as long as I live. But, how we doing tonight, guys?
Good. Do you want us to shut them back windows a little bit?
You're good. You're good.
We're good? Okay.
Actually, it kind of, it takes a little bit away from Kevin's appearance here. Lack of makeup.
Hey. Got the tank top too, buddy.
I want to know, do you own shirts that have sleeves?
A couple, Mike. Just
he got like one or two for weddings and banquets and stuff.
Yeah.
Other
for
than
something
that,
really, for something really special.
Yeah.
Like a wedding with a jacket on over the tank. Is that what it?
He does have a hat with ear floppers though.
Wouldn't expect anything less. Got to get the Elmer Fuds, to keep
you
warm. Let's talk about that Wayne County Fair tractor pull. What do you guys got? 13 classes, Ron. This thing is huge, and I know Kevin's got like a personal, like a goal and a desire. I think he clocked in at like 97 or 99 vehicles last year. He wants to hit that 100 mark. Ron, 13 classes. Is this one of the biggest pulls we have all year long?
Yeah. Anything with 2 tracks and that many classes is going to be one of the bigger events, and they've always hinted the last couple of years about going 2 nights. We're still waiting on that to go 2 nights there. But it's one of the bigger pulls. It's a great venue, Mike, and you've been there.
Awesome.
Always enjoyed going there. Even before I, had signed on with the Outlaws, Kevin would have me come up there and do that pull, and always had fun there. I mean, I don't know what it was, but it always seemed like, and I'm not trying to jinx it, but it always seemed like the weather was just perfect at Wayne every year. It seemed like, and I don't know why, but it always seemed like it was.
It was. I mean, we've had a lot of good years, and it's been, looks like it's going to be about the same this year.
It is. Looks like it's going to be, though. Weatherman's going to, hopefully Mother Nature's really good to us.
So what are we feeling
cranky this year at times? I'll tell you that.
It's looking pretty good. The forecast is for it. So
good.
What about 100 hooks? Are we feeling? When Ron, you've been around pulling enough to know that 13 classes, and Kevin, what do you think, Kevin? Kevin's shooting north of 100. Tell me what you're hoping for then. What's your golden number this year?
Between 120 and 130.
Oh.
Woo, I love it. That's awesome.
I'm kind of estimating here.
Come on, Stoner. What are you going to throw at me?
He'll give you you watch. I'm gonna whatever his number is, I'm gonna place a bet that it's gonna be within 3 either way of it when we actually roll around.
Because Brett I talked to him this morning. I'm going to have 4 to 5 semis.
8. I'm thinking here 100, 106.
I'll write it down.
You should have seen when I told the parking lot guy that kind of lines it up. When I told him about how many trucks were coming.
Yeah.
He has heart problems, and it really threw him into a loop there.
I'm going to say 110.
110. So I'm going to go plus or minus 3 in either direction of that. So like your official announcer's review is going to be 107, 113. Kevin's already saying the heck with that. We're going 120, 130. Either way, here's what I can promise you guys. It's a big pull. It's a phenomenal track. It has an electric atmosphere. There's an atmosphere at this pull that is really one of those that it sinks in with some of the biggest in the country. This is one you circle early on your schedule and you say, I can't wait to get to that one. Well, what makes it so special, Kevin? How did you guys get this pull to that point?
Well, it's just taking time to grow it, and Ron knows where we were at before, and I just wanted to make this bigger and better for the fair and for the community, because that's always been my goal, and being the fair manager to try and make this thing bigger and better for everybody. And it's always tractor pulling, bull riding, all the stuff we got going on, concerts. It's always a big thing. My dad was on the fair board here, so we all try, and everybody works hard on it. And, we were on with Jason last night, and like I said, this thing is trying to grow this with the pullers. I like the idea of it. And with the classes we got coming this year, I feel we're covering a lot of Nebraska classes, South Dakota, and Iowa. So that's where I'm just looking. And Ron, the 2 classes that I took changed around this year. The numbers are going to be there.
Yeah. You're talking pro stock 4x4.
Always big numbers. And light limited pros.
Yeah.
So by changing it, because as us being a promoter on this end, I look at numbers. We want numbers to grow this, to keep our crowd involved in it. And Ryan Rosnick was here taking pictures last year, and Ryan came up to me afterwards and he says, Kevin, this is one of the few shows that I have seen when 2-wheel drive pickups pulling, some of the people leave the stands. He said you held the people here for the whole show. And he says, first time I seen it, when them semis went down, the people in the grandstand were standing up and cheering. Yeah. And, so, when you get people that get involved like that, it's just nice to see the crowd react to it. So, know that you got the feel that you're doing stuff right.
Yeah. And that's, that's the whole appeal of the semis is you don't see the semis out this way very often, and they're cool. And I'm a fan too. I love to watch them pull. I love to see them yank that left front tire off the ground and have that right one dancing on the dirt there. But definitely. And then you've got the limited pro stock shootout there as well. The Anderson Farms.
Yeah.
Limited. What's the amount? Is it 3,500 this year?
What is a 3-year shootout? So that's a pretty big deal,
It's 3,500, right?
Yes.
Okay, 3,500.
Anderson Farms been doing us really, really good. They're a great donor to help us out and do that from year to year, back to back. That's really awesome.
But we've got a waiting list. We've got a waiting list now of people wanting to be trophy sponsors.
Oh, really?
So,
speaking of trophy sponsors,
see, we made new trophies this year. Gage Ott designs our trophies for us, and so he tries changing it up every year.
Is there anything those Ott boys don't do?
Yeah,
that's what I was just wondering.
Yeah. So that's what Bodie said. Bodie says, "Well, I think the boys could just plasma torch something, and we can make our own here." Well, Gage has got hooked up with this other outfit, and then he kind of makes the diagram of it, and then we go from there. But I said, by doing all this stuff, but when you get people wanting to help sponsor your show, do a trophy, I says, that's cool. When they call and say, hey, do you have an open spot for us? We would like to be on there. So in the whole sense of the thing is to grow it, to keep the people happy. We got a free barbecue on Friday night. People can come to the fairgrounds, $20 to get in. You can go to the barbecue if you want. Otherwise, there's food vendors down there, and then you can go to the grandstand. So, I mean,
I was going to make it over there too late to get the food. It's like, I don't know why. I just got so much going on, and I get over there, and it's like, well, they're putting it away, and it's like,
yeah.
What time is the free barbecue there?
Starts at 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock. Is that open to everybody again?
Open to everybody.
But the pullers we feed up on all on the other end up there.
Pullers help.
Yeah, all the get fed up on the north end of the track.
Yep, and they get fed by the Eric and
Kelly.
Wes, Eric and Kelly and Wes. And,
they feed them. They do all that work for us.
Mike, when was the last time you went to a pull as a spectator and you could go eat free barbecue?
I don't think I have ever had free barbecue as a spectator at a pull before. But speaking of, I saw something interesting on the app, and I want to double check this with you guys, and especially the fans out there. You're talking barbecue starts at 5 o'clock. I noticed a unique start time for this pull. A lot of times you'll see a 6 o'clock start. Most times you see a 7 o'clock start. Every once in a while you see a 6:30. Start time is at 6:15, correct?
Correct.
6:15. So it's like a baseball game where they're starting at 6:08 or something like that.
Yeah, so we just figure at 6 o'clock we'll be able to have our short little tractor drive that Alan will announce all the tractors back here, the antique tractors that drive around. Then we'll do our posting of the colors and the national anthem, and then we'll go right into the tractor pull. So we should be able to start pulling no later than 6:20. But I said, let's get this show on the road and get it moving. So, keep the people interested,
So the tractor show or the track events will begin at 6, and then opening ceremonies for the Outlaws will begin at 6:15. I saw that on the app, and I said, man, I've seen a lot of different pulling start times. I've never seen a quarter of the hour start time before, but
we're always a little bit different here, Mike.
Well, we also have the local honor guard doing it, and the guy that is on that is prompt about his time. He doesn't want to stand out there any longer. He wants to be on time and wants to get her done right through the show so you guys can get started.
Good deal. So what time are the gates open? What time can the crowd get in there? Start
anytime. They're open all day long.
9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
Gates are wide open.
Be careful, because we have some fans out there that if you tell them 9 a.m., they'll be claiming spots at 9.
You can come the night before. The night before and watch bull riding.
$20 to get in.
$20 food and everything.
Yep.
That's pretty good deal, Mike. I mean,
Yep.
Food,
that can be date night with the wife. You can take the wife out there. $20 to get in.
She was there. She was there last year. She came to the Wayne County Fair last year. Of course, I was lucky to have made the Wayne County Fair myself personally last year. So it all came together, though. That was when I blew up the motorhome on the way there. So
you thought you was pulling. You're making engine sounds with your mouth, weren't you? Pulling a sled.
Oh, it didn't help because it was 17 miles an hour as all that thing would go. But no, you were joking last year, Ron. You talked about how all those turbines came out of Huey helicopters, and you said that's what I needed. One of those Hueys could have just picked me up and brought me into the fair, and you just weren't wrong about that. But no, folks, it really is. It's an awesome pull. It's an awesome fair. Quickly rising in national attention, I would say. This is one of those, you guys were talking on Let's Grow Pulling last night. This one's gaining a lot of traction on the big time scale. And, I look forward to Friday night.
Yeah. I mean, we just try and keep it moving forward and growing it, making it so the public likes it. And, it's something to draw everything to. But, we got 17 on this board and I do all the contracts for them. But it still takes your full board to make anything like this work.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of us been here.
Like I said, when you were talking about, Ron, when you were talking about the semis and loving the semis, there was one guy that was on the board. He says, I hate tractor pulling and everything like that. But he says, if you ever can get the semis here, I'll watch it. And guess what? When we put the semis in here, he loves it. And he's loved it ever since. I mean, to go and make one of the guys on the board was kind of, and that's why we got a diversified board. They'll say it, so.
Yeah, we try to mix it up. We want as much variety in classes as possible, and there's something for everyone,
Yep.
Alcohol sales there. You guys sell your own beer, correct? So you can't bring your own beer in. I've got to complain about that, though. Since you moved the Grants, the Crows.
Yeah.
We used to have the beer sales right underneath the Crows.
Right underneath, yeah.
And not as convenient now.
But maybe when you went downstairs to announce the trophy winner, maybe if you'd have looked in that one cooler, there might have been something in it there, Ron. You didn't look far enough,
Friday night. I'll be looking for a cooler.
There you go.
Definitely. So
one thing about it with your guys' crew, the Outlaw crew, and our track crew that I have that works good with us, we try to keep everything going all the time. We try to make it end on time too. We try to get everybody through on time,
Yeah.
Keep the show running and keep it running fast.
Keep it rolling. You got the big screen, where they're going to be entertained, with 2 tracks and the big screen. I think this is a shot at you there, Kevin. I'm guessing. Bodie says way more makeup.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I tried, guys, but I was running out of time, so I thought I'd better just go with what I got.
Believe it or not, he was running a weed eater today and a leaf blower today when I went by him.
What? No way. No
on
way.
My cart.
All right. Well, guys.
Now ask Trevor if he's been on the weed eater.
Yeah, that's what I
haven't found one that fit my hand yet.
There you go. They're too small.
I always look for the ones that have steering wheels.
Yeah. My dad had an old John Deere weed eater with a 4-stroke motor on it. Had handles out here and actually had 4 different spools on it. That thing was a monster. It had a chest strap, a shoulder strap. You had to wear that thing. That thing was huge. But guys, go ahead, Trevor.
Yeah, going back to the big screen TVs. How many are you guys bringing?
Me? Oh, there's two coming for the big screen, and then we got our own.
And then is Outlaws having theirs too or not?
No.
So there'll be 5 big screens around the fairgrounds this year. 5 big screens.
Yeah, we got 3 TVs from the state fair in Nebraska that they were giving away, so we took them. So we'll be running all of our corporate sponsors and everything on them all day long. So, and then by next year, we got a drone coming. We'll be able to be doing live videos on all of our TVs.
Awesome. Guys, thanks so much for coming on. We're looking forward to Friday night at the Wayne County Fair. And when you get done with the tractor pull, there's also other things to do. I mean, you got the beer garden going on. You got a band playing down there as well, right?
Yep.
We got a live band down in the beer garden every night. So,
and that rolls over really good.
Yeah.
And I was informed we got Scotty McCreary coming in for the next night. He'll be here. I got informed by the stage guy. He wants to be on the track putting the stage up by 11:15.
Oh, no pressure.
Well,
no pressure.
No pressure to us, but that's what he said.
Yeah, I think
who on earth is Clint Black is what I say to that.
Yeah. Hey, do you have trophies, Kevin?
Yeah, I think you think he commented before you showed that though. Yep, they've got the trophies, Gage, so they look good. Good job there.
Very good. Thank you, Gage.
He just did. Zook Fukerberg want to see the trophy again, but you saw it, so yeah. One more time, Trevor.
Good looking.
There you go. Look at that. That's the
most. It would be better if we did it this way.
That was perfect. That was perfect. Guys, thanks so much for coming on. We'll see you Friday.
Hey, thanks, guys.
See ya.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.
Appreciate it. Awesome. I got behind on the comments here. That's why those seemed a little bit late. Chris Pierce One of the Nebraska pools have been Pawnee City, 3,500 Super Field. That's actually 3,500 Super Farm. Yes, that is a different class.
No, they're
Farm.
PF.
I'm
It's
sorry,
like
yeah,
pro farm or pro field or something like that.
3,200 Super Field, 3,500 Pro Farm.
Great question. Yes, the only thing I can tell you, more RPM, but I think, Ron, I don't have them in my quick notes. Lower horsepower, right? The pro farm or pro field is actually a little bit under the super field, I think, but I did not.
I don't know. I think it's a simple turbo thing in RPM.
Okay.
I can't remember. I don't know if that's right or not. But been trying to get those guys to pull with us here for a couple of years. You know, they were kind of a few years ago, they wanted to come pull with us, and we threw some dates out there, and they didn't support it, so we kind of let it be last year and thought we'd give it another shot this year. We had a couple there at Pawnee City, so I don't know. We'll see what happens down the road. It's a pretty popular class in the northwest Missouri, southeast Nebraska, southwest Iowa area. It's not a traveling class. They don't travel a lot. So, Scott, any of you going to be in New York Sunday? Nope. I'll be no. Do we come near Austin, Texas? We come to Lufkin, Texas in October. Dragging and pulling into Pines. Check it out. That's what is that date? Mid
13th, October 13th and 14th, or 12th and 13th, something like that. It's October
17th and 18th. October 17th and 18th. I think that's about as close as we get to Austin, I think.
How close is De Leon to Austin?
I thought De Leon was kind of on the western part.
It might be. I have no idea.
So,
Texas, big state, and I don't know where any of it's at. So
yeah, that's coming.
We'll go to Texas 2 more times before the year's over.
A couple of weeks here. Yeah, De Leon is it's west and a little bit south of Dallas and Fort Worth. Not far, but and then Austin is. Where is Austin?
Austin's straight south of Dallas, I want to say.
It is.
Southeast of Dallas. It
is, yep. So, De Leon would be that'd probably be the closest one for
Austin.
Brian. That's De Leon, Texas, coming up August 8th and 9th. That's a co-sanctioned event with us, Outlaws, and Texas Truck and Tractor Pullers. That's the Peach and Melon Festival there in De Leon. So, that'd be the closest one to you. Then in June, of course, we're in Whitewright, which is an hour north of Dallas. Coolendall. Going back on when the Suxdorfs owned that super field, it was called Red Factor. Yep. The Reardons bought it and renamed it the Rum Runner. Yeah. Dale Bartell says the 3500s are super fields cranked up.
So even though they go by pro fields or pro farm, where usually the pro
farm,
usually pro is beneath super on kind of the way you name. So even though they're called pro, they're actually above the supers a little bit. So
Ben out of Kansas, will the Illinois mods be on full pull live on Thursday? I think he's talking about tomorrow,
Freeport.
Actually, Freeport. And I don't think so. I don't think they'll be.
I don't. We don't.
We just have one class there, so and that may change next year. And talking to the promoter that if it works out well this year, we'll have more of that next year. But that's going to be a big deal there, Mike. $14,000 payout in one class. That's kind of a big deal. And then they've got the optional jackpot. I'm not sure how many. I haven't heard from Mark, but how many he's got into that jackpot. But there was $2,200 investment to get in that jackpot too. So some big money on the line there in Freeport. On Wednesday night, tomorrow night. So
that's going to be awesome. We're going to be watching the results on the app with that one, kind of keeping half an eye on that and half an eye on the other pools. So
we haven't touched on Britt a whole lot tonight, or Platte City. Britt, Iowa is tomorrow night as well. The Hancock County Fair. What is there? 7 classes there, Mike?
Britt's got 4-wheel drive, modified 4-wheel drive trucks, limited pro stock diesel 3.0 trucks, diesel super stocks, light limited pro stocks, light super stock ag, and super farms.
Britt?
Oh yeah, Britt.
Yeah, Britt. No limited pro stock, light limited pro, no limited
diesel
pro.
trucks, diesel super stocks, LLPs, LSS Ag, and super farms.
Yeah, you said limited pro. Limited pros aren't there, I don't think.
Limited pro stock diesel trucks.
Gotcha.
I went full fancy title instead of calling them diesel 3.0 on it.
Yeah, looking at that, you got 8 4-wheel drive signed up so far. That diesel pickup class there tomorrow night, $1,000 extra in the payout for that. So that's a diesel truck shootout there in 3.0. Light limited pros, good class of them. Light super stock ag, that's a good points race going on right now in light super ag. Of course, super farms. There'll be a lot of hooks there tomorrow night. Yeah. So, man, let's do your thing with when the smoke clears. We got a guy back there waiting patiently.
Speaking of super farms, we got a super farmer back there. I think he's actually sitting about number 4 in points. I'll bring him on in just a second right here. No, actually number 3 in points, even better than I thought. Getting back on track, everybody, with the When the Smoke Clears program, the featured social media puller of the week. Again, I want to feature each and every one of you, so be on the lookout for messages from myself or just reach out to me. When the smoke clears, you'll be looking at an outlaw, and the outlaw that you'll be seeing this week, Mr. Chad Andrews, Beersford, South Dakota. And I hit the wrong button. I played that up with the Mr. Chad Andrews, thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for responding to us with your When the Smoke Clears piece. How are we doing this evening?
Good. How's it going, fellas?
Doing really well. Before we get into your bio, I've been thinking about this question lately for a while now, and I want to know the answer. The buck on the front of Bruley Buck, is that a replica of something that you've actually got Euro mounted on the wall at home, something you shot out in the field, or is that fully fabricated just in your shop?
Just had time over the winter and started playing with some rebar and a piece of square tubing.
So that is not like the real one. That's not the trophy buck that you shot, many years ago or anything like that.
No, I'm not that lucky.
Are you a deer hunter?
When I have time to, but the banquet kind of messes it up in South Dakota. It's always open.
That second weekend in Missouri too. That's right in the heart of the rut. So I feel you, my friend. I feel you. So we've been bringing drivers on here, letting them do a live react and kind of an interaction when we do the biography on When the Smoke Clears. So you will be our featured driver this week, and I look forward to chatting with you about some of your answers on here. So your puller right here in front of us, Chad Andrews, driving the super farm he calls Bruley Buck, 9,200 pound super farm. Been pulling for 20 years. Says his first hook was Spencer, Iowa, 2005. Take us back to the beginning. Spencer, Iowa, 05. How did that come to be?
I don't know. It's kind of hard to remember that far back, but just Dad let me jump on it when I turned 16 in September, and I've been pulling ever since, I guess. I've seen it snow in Spencer, Iowa before too, before a tractor pull.
Really?
Yep. There's snow on the ground the night before.
Holy smoke.
Now, the year that you started, so kind of fill me in on some of the, the Bruley Buck and the Dakota Deer pulling team. Did your dad have both the tractors at the time and you jumped on Bruley, or what was your first pass on the Dakota Deer?
First pass is on the Dakota. Yep.
Okay. So when did Bruley Buck come into existence?
2010-ish. I'm not sure exactly when it came along.
And
our cousin Wire had a tractor. Then we kind of went in on with him. And then he sold out, and then a good friend of ours and one of their crew chiefs got in half and half on it, named Leonard Paulson. And then it was started out as Predadeer, and then it was the Threat. And then Leonard kind of retired from being crew chief and pulling, and then we renamed it the Bruley Buck.
What is Bruley? Was that his last name, or is that your county you're from, or what's Bruley?
The Bruley Creek runs through our farms, and I just thought of the Bruley Creek and Bruley Buck.
Yep. So I like kind of like the Salt River Savage that pulled there in Warrensburg this weekend. The Salt River runs right there through over there in Shelby County, just east of here. So that's cool. So the Bruley Creek for the Bruley Buck been in existence since about 2010, but Chad's been pulling since about 2005. Says your most memorable hook, your biggest memory of all time, not that long ago, Wisner 2024. Tell us about Wisner last year. Why is that number one in the memory bank for you?
It was a bolt run, and we were kind of having a hard time deciding what gear to go in. So Brady just told me, just put it in high and get after it and see what happens. And I guess we just went for it. And the way it worked out, if I beat Pride of the Farm, I had a pretty good chance at winning the Thunderbolt, and he pulled just right before me. So we went by the flag. We felt pretty good about getting the bolt. So that's awesome. Memorable. So, yeah.
And did you help refresh my memory? Did you walk away with the bolt last year?
Yep.
Okay. So that definitely is one for the memory, no doubt about it. So congratulations on that. Said wildest ride, Ravenna, Nebraska. When and what went down?
I've drove out of bounds twice in my whole career. It's on the East Track in Ravenna both times.
Yeah.
And is this of recent memory or just at various points? That's just kind of
anytime you drive out of bounds, it's way too recent. So
that's I like that.
I used that. I think I used that clip of you going out of bounds there. You took kind of a rough ride when it came down, and I used that in a highlight clip a few years back. You remember?
Yeah, then I really didn't want to quit either. So, but I had to shut her down, I guess. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, you guys, you and Brady take turns driving this tractor, but looking back, just the last few years or so, I mean, you guys are always knocking on the door of seconds and thirds and points. I mean, last year you were third. Year before that, second. Year before that, third. 2021, you were third. I mean, I know the Super Farm class is always super tough, the competition. And right now, you guys are trading. I seen where your dad's in the lead now again with the Dakota Deer. Could this be the year that you guys, come out and whoop everybody in the points?
We got some catching up to do, but anything's possible, and with a little bit of luck. But it's quite a mountain to climb at this point in the season.
Robert Miner has a question for you. If you'd ever jump on a red tractor?
Yeah, I'd drive anything.
I did not expect that response. I thought for sure. I would have lost that bet.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. So
not what I would have guessed. Points championship. Speaking about that, Ron, right on cue. Got 4 points championships in ITPA. So it'll be Iowa Tractor Pullers, I'm assuming, is where that was at. Okay.
Just no sanction stuff. Yep.
And now Dad, he's got 7 points championships, right?
Yep.
So just what's it like pulling on a team where your dad, he's going to go down as one of the greatest super farm pullers in outlaw history? I mean, just kind of walk us through what's that like, kind of just working and pulling in that environment.
Well, it's pretty normal for me because that's all I've ever known.
Sure.
But he's got big shoes to fill, but all I can do is just, walk in my own shoes and try to accomplish what I want to accomplish and work as a team through the whole thing anyways. So it's a lot of fun.
Like that.
I mean, yeah,
that's a good response. I think that's something that fans and people, that's a good message to send. It's big shoes to fill, but all you can do is walk in your own shoes and just be a part of the team and enjoy it. So yeah, I like that. Biggest pulling hero, right on cue right there, Alan Andrews, my father. Then he says, followed by, and in no specific order, and I really liked reading through this earlier today when I was taking a look at it, So outside of your dad, Alan Andrews, legendary super farm puller, other big pulling influences include Clem Schluter, recent Hall of Fame inductee with the Outlaws, Dwayne and Ron Amon, Whitey Zajac, the #1 all-time outlaw point champion, Jimmy Brackett, Dave Bennett, Kevin and Lori Bauer, Doug Roberts, and our old pulling crew, Leonard Paulson and Dan Thiel. Just take a moment and talk to us about, you've got legends in there, you've got current workers in there, that you kind of got a lot of the whole outlaw family. Tell us about, those people that you work with and look up to.
Just a lot of them been around since I was little at the polls. They treat you real nice, kind of take you under their wing, if you show a little interest in what they're doing, and any of those names, just step right in and they pretty much help raise you or whatever you need to do. Or, that's probably why they're just influence on my life and why it comes to my mind when you think of those people.
A lot of the who's who, both on and off the track and behind the scenes of the Outlaws and the outlaw kind of legacy and history and even modern day running right there. But, I think that's a good point. Yeah, they're the type of people that, they always talk about outlaw family. And like you said, hey, this is all I know. And these are the people I've been around. But good group of people right there. So no doubt about it. Best pulling advice: watch what the winners are doing. Be consistent, make one change at a time, and keep a pulling journal. 2 things I liked here: make one change at a time. If you go tweaking 2 things and it doesn't work, well, you don't know what it was, or if it does work, you don't know which one it was. So I thought, absolutely, one change at a time. Pulling journal, that one kind of what intrigued me. Tell me more about that. Do you have one of your, is it a pen and paper and you keep it right there with you? What's the pulling journal concept?
I'll just call it the little black book. It's got all the little secrets in it. I've been taking notes since like 2016 on every track we've been to and venue, and just about anything you can think of is in that little black book.
So like for Pierce, Nebraska coming up, or let's say Britt, Iowa tomorrow night, do you have in there, we took the right side, or we took the left side and angled it to the right, you have all those notes in there?
Yeah. Yep. Tire pressure, gear selection, weights, all that stuff. Yeah.
Cool. So you're a very data-driven kind of scientific method pulling team. You're saying this is what we did, this is what it worked.
It wasn't really that scientific. I just couldn't remember all the time. So I just wrote it down.
Do you have, hey, you don't have to open it. You can keep it closed, but do you have the notebook there within arm's reach?
I think it's in the office.
Oh, okay.
Safe,
Dad'll grab it.
It's in the safe over there in the office. So
yeah, it's and it's safe, right? So he's got to go in there and spin it and hit the the thumbprint and the Face ID recognition. I love that we open the office and look at all the trophies back there, just kind of gleaming, and seeing their way out. That's cool stuff. What inspired you to start doing this? Was this a tip from your dad, or was this something that you started doing?
I just got sick of trying to, because you go to so many tracks, it's just hard to remember where the winning passes were at and what you did with the weights. So I just got sick of being lost all the time and guessing.
Yeah.
Which it still is a guess, don't get me wrong, but it's pretty consistent year after year once you wait and play.
That's neat. I like that. That's really cool. Day job. Old Chad Andrews says that he's an active farmer, 24 head hog barn and seed dealer. What's a typical day, 9 to 5 look like, or 7 to 5, or 5 to 9, whatever your hours are?
Well, it's
5 to 9.
It's chores, and then going to the farm. Just depends what time of the year it is. Winter time and fall time's kind of trying to get customers and run around and show them your products and show a lot of data, like on-farm data from our farm about it. And then just day-to-day operation stuff of keeping the farm going, I guess. And then after that's all over with, we do chores again at the end of the night. So
when is it pulling time? Because one thing that I love about your guys' social media, you guys have a really good social media page. You take a lot of good videos of completely disassembling things, reassembling things. You're obviously very in depth with that. So do you have a certain time that you set aside to go through and check filters and whatnot, or is that on an as needed or as available basis?
It just, if it needs to get done, it gets done. So
sure.
Two guys are doing something and two other guys might be working on the tractors, or they might be doing something else on the farm, and then come back and communicate about what's going on and what's been done. And so everything kind of just stays in order.
Perfect. Pulling goals. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
Okay. Pulling goals. Chad says he wants to win an outlaw truck and tractor pulling points championship. And then he's going to climb the ladder from there. He wants to win an OTTPA points championship. Then we want to get the invite to go pulling in Louisville. Then we want to win the rock. You've got the Thunderbolt. He wants the rock. And basically be someone younger kids and pullers could look up to. I hope there's some young kids out there watching. That's my daytime job. I'm a school teacher, so influencing the youth positively is something that I'm a big believer in. I hope there's kids watching, because the way you conduct yourself and the way you do this interview, I can tell that you're the type of puller that kids could look up to, that kids should look up to. And I think that's a very admirable goal, to be someone that, someone says, hey, when I grow up, I want to be like the Bruley Buck. What would it mean to be pulling in Louisville or win a points championship? What would be if you could pick one goal, what would be the ultimate feather in your hat?
Everybody wants to win Louisville, Kentucky, of course. If we could get the Super Farm class unified, it'd be fun to go try to win a ring in Bowling Green sometime. Also, it'd be a pretty neat accomplishment. But we're
when you guys go to Louisville, don't you have to make some adjustments? Aren't the Outlaw Super Farms just a freckle different? I do know it's always tricky for our guys to go to Louisville in the Super Farm division because of headers or something like that. It's a little different. You got to make some adjustments if you do go to Louisville.
Yeah, they run a smaller turbo, no headers.
Yeah.
But next year they might run headers because PPL is allowing it now in Super Farm. And then the next step to unify it would be running something like the Outlaw Turbo, but just let them keep. They don't have to run a box turbo per se. They could just thin the wheels out and go crazy with them. But we'll just keep our box turbo, and we're happy with that.
Do they run an intercooler as well, Chad?
I think in the Badger State, Wisconsin, they do. Yeah. Louisville does not.
Louisville follows front NTPA.
So, yeah.
Okay. Well, I was curious, Chad. I'm going to see you on Thursday in Pierce, man, and I think I'm ready for you, buddy. I think
anytime, Ronald.
Mike's going to hit you tomorrow night, so he's going to.
These Super Farm guys, they've been stuck with me a lot this year, and I like working with your dad, and I saw him sitting over there. I know he's listening in. He keeps me honest. He keeps me on my toes. And if there is like at one point I had announced, he's got 5 points championships to his credit. And that's what I had my quick notes. My quick notes go back 10 years. And he was texting me the next day, say, hey, I've actually got 7, Mike. So at this point, you Super Farmers are probably tired of hearing me up there. But, we've done a lot of shows together so far this year, and it's fun every time. Chad says, best part about being an outlaw is the close pulls, great competition, and the outlaw family. And he says his message to the fans is thank you. Enjoy each and every one of the chats back in the pits before and after the show. And you can follow them on social media. And, folks, it's a very good social media page. Dakota Deer and Bruley Buck Pulling Team on Facebook, on TikTok, Dakota Deer Farms, and on YouTube, Dakota Deer Farms. And he did mention this, but he also added some addendums afterwards. He said additional pulling goals would be to unify the Super Farm rules throughout all the organizations. And he says he also wants one more person to add as far as people that he wants to thank and that he looks up to. Old pulling crew would be Dan Hydeen. So
Hydeen.
Okay. Yep. Tell us about his influence really quickly.
He's good family friend. He lives like 4 miles up the road. Been everywhere with us. Was at Louisville when we won the 50th to qualify, and he's always been around pulling, and he's probably one of the biggest international guys around. Union County, South Dakota, but he just hangs with us John Deere guys for some reason. I don't know.
There you go. Well, Chad, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate the interview. Your family is successful and passionate about pulling. You're someone who's representing the sport incredibly well. I love a lot of your responses you had on here, being a role model to the youth, unifying the rules to the Super Farm class, and, trying to fill the big shoes, but walking in your own shoes along the way. A lot of neat stuff. I appreciate that. And best of luck this week. Like Ron said, he's got you on Thursday night. I've got you tomorrow night. We both got you on Friday night, and you pull Saturday too.
Yep.
In LeMars.
Where are you at on Saturday?
LeMars.
All right. So then we'll meet up there again as well. Thanks for joining us. When the smoke clears, you'll be looking at an outlaw. This week's featured outlaw, Chad Andrews on the Bruley Buck.
Thanks, fellas.
Thanks, Chad. Tell your mom and dad said hey.
Ron says hey.
Hey.
I saw Alan. Alan's been hiding over there the whole time. We'll get Alan on the show sometime soon. We'll get him to fill out.
I'll show you guys each the black book once.
We want to see it.
Let's see it.
One time. At Britt and then at Wayne, I'll show you.
Okay.
Separate.
Okay. Perfect. The black book.
What are those glasses? Mike's got his Google glasses. He might take pictures with his glasses. So
no. See, he's
gotta read my writing too.
He's gonna make us sign an NDA before he shows it to us. He's gonna make us sign, because he knows that we like to get up there and talk and disseminate information. So we got to sign a non-disclosure before we take a look at the black book. So awesome stuff. Your team is really successful. You do it the right way. Keep it up. Good luck. Go get yourself a points championship someday.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chad. We'll see you.
Chadley Andrews pulling team.
I don't know.
I joke. It's so funny, Ron, because one of my go-tos, and I might have stole it from you. I like to steal a lot of your stuff. I said, Alan Andrews kind of wrote the book on super farms. Well, evidently Chad Andrews is literally writing the book. So we might have to work that in a little bit with the little black book. So the dad kind of wrote the proverbial book, and the son is writing the literal book on super farm pulling.
Those guys are super competitive in that super farm class. What I was referring to when I told Chad I was ready for him is it's been, 4 or 5 years ago, we were in Weeping Water, and Chad, I don't know how, but he got to doing some arm wrestling with some folks in the crowd there. Some big guys were coming up there, and he was just dropping them left and right. So just kind of a joke. I've got a bad shoulder, Chad. So that rotator cuff thing going on, so I got to be careful. But
if you and I tag teamed up together, and you and I both went against Chad, I still don't really like our odds against him. You couldn't see it if you've never seen this man in person. You couldn't really see it right there, but he has some very snug fitting crew shirts, and it's not because he has a big belly. I'll tell you that much.
I've got long arms. See, the physics of it. The long arms. See, I'm like this, or I'm like this, and he's like this. See, I got more of a twisting motion. So I'm at a disadvantage.
I'm not even going to go. I'm like a light super stock. I was built for speed. I was not built for torque. So
All right. Thanks everybody for watching again. Next week, look forward to getting some of those Hoganics Midwest Summer Sweep points updates coming out. It's real busy right now, so I think we're a little behind on that. But points, also the points data on the app. I know there a couple weeks ago we were putting the drops in. We had to take those out, so the drops won't be applied until after Wisner, like we've done it in the past. The program didn't like it. So we had to go back to the way that we've always done it. So drops are not included in those points totals right now. They'll come in after Wisner. So we'll let you know. Also, that trifecta sweep with Hoganics Midwest. Of course, we were rained out in Montgomery City on Friday night, and that was the third hook in that trifecta. It's either going to be Unionville or Buckner. It's going to be one of those two, I think. That's the only time we'll have those 5 classes together again in Missouri. So
instead of calling it quits and just running on 2, they did pick like a third makeup one.
It's the trifecta, man, and we got to have
perfect. 3. I love it. I think that's a great way to do that. A lot of times you'll see them split or say, well, here's who was leading after such and such time. I like that. That's a good call. That's a good way to do it.
Marty Samuelson with some good advice here for me. Stick with my voice. Leave the arm wrestling to the professionals, like Chad Andrews. Thanks, everybody, for watching again. Have fun out there pulling this week, Mike. We'll see you Friday night, buddy. Good luck tomorrow night. You're doing Britt. And thanks for watching Outlawed Live.